through this door lies another dimension. One of beeps, one of boops. A reality where 8-bit and HD clash. This is the point where new and retro meet. The 6.5 dimension, protected by the arcade overlord. You have crossed into the turbo zone.
If you like Pac-Man, raise your fucking hand. My hand's up. All your hands should be up. And if your hands aren't up, be careful, because Pac-Man's one of the arcade overlords, and he's gonna come and he's gonna chomp you. He's gonna chomp you up. Pac-Man Championship Edition 2. Wow, I was excited for this game. The original Pac-Man Championship Edition was one of my favorite games of the last generation. I own it multiple times. I own it on PS3. I own it on the 3DS. It is such a fun and refreshing Pac-Man experience. So when I heard that Pac-Man Championship Edition 2 was coming to PS4 and it was getting a physical release, I was all on board. And just so you know, before I start talking about this game, the physical release comes packaged with Galaga, Pac-Man, and Dig Dug. So it's the closest thing we have to a physical Namco museum on the PS4. Hey, if you're into that, there you go. Championship Edition 2 is a really good game. I really like this game, but I can't say I've always liked this game. Starting out playing this game, it felt different. The game was really fast. The rules didn't really make too much sense. I did skip the tutorial, which I did go back and play that tutorial later on. The game itself just... It didn't feel like Pac-Man. It looked like Pac-Man, sounded like Pac-Man, but something was off. So I went back and played the tutorial, and I learned how the game really wants you to play. So the game isn't your standard Pac-Man maze game. Even though it is laid out in the same format, they've changed the formula up quite a bit, which is refreshing because, you know, this is a game formula that's been around for over 30 fucking years now. So the basic game, you know, goes like this. You want to focus on getting the highest score. You have a line of dots each maze, and you can kind of go through that. If you get all the dots, you get a bomb. A bomb can help you. Getting enough dots unlocks a fruit. Once you get a fruit, you can move on to the next board. Now the ghosts, there's the main 4 ghosts, and then there's smaller ghosts on the board. If you pass the smaller ghosts, they attach to the main ghost and make a ghost train. Now, if the ghost just touches you, you aren't dead yet. But if you bump into the ghost, you can anger it and it'll come after you. And then getting a power pellet will let you eat this big chain of the fucking ghost trains, and it is satisfying. Like I said, if that all sounds really confusing, that's because it is. If you play this game, you'll want to play the tutorial because at first it's kind of overwhelming. Championship Edition 2, once you get the hang of it though, it's a lot of fun. Once again, it's not really like classic Pac-Man, but it is really refreshing to see the Pac-Man in this new type of formula. I don't know if I like it more than classic Pac-Man. I don't know if I like it more than the first Championship Edition even, but I do really appreciate and kind of respect this game for doing its own thing. Now, the main mode you'll probably start out with is the Score Attack mode. Score Attack gives you a bunch of different maze variations, and each variation has I think it's 3 different difficulties and a practice mode. So there's quite a bit to do there. You'll want to go through and try to get the highest score you can on each board. And clearing all the boards unlocks a special skin for the characters. And then outside of that, there is the adventure mode. The adventure mode is really cool because you play through some different worlds and a world map, kind of like Mario style, with an end boss at the end. But it's a Maze Pac-Man game. This is a Maze Pac-Man game with an adventure mode. That's crazy. Each level has 3 different difficulties. Each difficulty will get you a star, easy, medium or hard. We'll get you 1, 2, or 3 stars, and the stars help you unlock more stuff in the adventure mode. And once again, clearing the adventure mode gets you a cool skin for your characters. I really like the inclusion of the boss fights. They're really fun, and I didn't know they could really make boss fights work in this Pac-Man formula, and it's so much fun. Pac-Man's one of my favorite franchises of all time. I am a huge Pac-Man fan. I mean, I have Pac-Man coasters. I had a Pac-Man air freshener in my car. I have fucking Pac-Man shot glasses. I adore Pac-Man. And to see Namco still bring out as Pac-Man maze games is fantastic. And this game goes above and beyond with the soundtrack. The soundtrack is like this mix of Pac-Man type music and electronic music. It sounds strange at first, but it's really good. It works really well for a Pac-Man maze game. It's really high energy, and with how fast this game is, it's going to keep you going. It's going to keep your blood pumping. Now, after explaining how this game plays, it is kind of difficult, but that's kind of the charm of the game. Is that it's the fun of the game is comes from your skill, comes from getting good at the game, learning how to play the game, and mastering it. Getting the highest scores, beating the adventure mode. It is fun. There's a lot of replay value here. I wish they would do this with other Namco franchises. I remember they did Galaga Legions DX and stuff like that, that was a really fun game. I wish they would do other franchises. I would love to see a Dig Dug or a Xevious or a Bosconian championship. Can you imagine a new Bosconian game? Alart! I would fucking melt. Say if you like Pac-Man, but you don't want to play Pac-Man, but you still want to play some Pac-Man, but it's not exactly Pac-Man. It's just different Pac-Man. Here's Pac-Man. It's a Pac-Man game with a Pac-Man, man.
Hey geeks and gamers, TurboBot90013 here. Remember to subscribe to the Turbo Zone for more content. The Arcade Overlord, thank you. Stay retro. Turbo Zone.